Welcome to today's episode of ECONcepts, and today we are going to be talking about a very difficult chapter in A-level econs, and that's going to be balance of payments. Balance of payments is a record of all monetary transactions that take place between one country and the rest of the world. And so when you look at a country's balance of payments, you can find out whether this country is doing well in terms of trade, whether they're selling a lot of exports, are they importing a lot of imports, or is this country having a lot of inward investment, or this country is having a lot of outward investments. We can also use it to predict currency movements, whether a currency is expected to appreciate or whether a currency is expected to depreciate by looking at the balance of payments. Now let's do a breakdown of the balance of payments. Now balance of payments, there are three accounts. Number one, we have the current account. Number two, we have the capital and financial account. And number three, we have the official financing account. Now let's ignore official financing account, because when you look at balance of payments and you want to track the position, you generally only look at the combination of current account and capital and financial account. Now let's look at first current account. Current account has two sub-accounts. We have visible trade account and we have invisible trade account, which is very easy to remember. Visible trade account looks at the export minus imports of goods, whereas the invisible trade account measures export minus imports of services mainly, but you also track three other things. One, unilateral transfers. Two, net income from investments. Three, government expenditure on goods and services. That's what the invisible trade account measures. As for capital and financial account, now you can sometimes call it capital account for short, sometimes you call it financial account for short, but the full name is capital and financial account. What does a capital and financial account tracks? It tracks short-term capital flows and long-term capital flows. Under short-term and long-term capital flows, we have direct investments and portfolio investments. When you look at direct investments, it's really about firms going into a country, setting up shops, setting up factory, doing sales, acquiring people, hiring staff. That is direct investment. Now, portfolio investment is buying things like stocks, bonds, what we call paper investments. Now, when we look at balance of payments, we are typically troubled by a persistent BOP deficit. Persistent BOP deficit means there is more monies flowing out of the economy than monies coming into the economy. Now, why is that troublesome? Because that means to say that nobody wants to buy your country's goods, or you're buying too much of other countries' goods, or nobody wants to invest in your country, or when you're investing too much in other countries. So how do we solve a persistent BOP deficit? Now, countries like the United States have recently gone on the attack on protectionism. Now, protectionism is whereby you place tariffs or restrictions on other countries' goods to make your own citizens buy lesser of other countries' goods, so they cut back on import spending. That will improve your country's current account. Or you can use supply-side policies where you aim to improve your export competitiveness. Like for example, you can try to increase productivity. If you increase productivity, your cost production goes down and your exports can be priced cheaper. So more people will buy your exports and your exports go up. That will improve your current account as well. Now, so these are just two examples of how we can deal with a persistent BOP deficit. And that's it for today's episode of ECONcepts. We'll catch you on the next one. And that's it for today's episode of ECONcepts. We'll catch you on the next one.